6 months after Ethereum's successful crowd sale, Charles Hoskinson found himself on the outside looking in. The most business-minded of Ethereum's founders had advocated for a for-profit structure since joining the project, putting him on a collision course with Vitalik Buterin and other team members committed to decentralized ideals. By June 2014, the disagreement had escalated into an irreparable split that would remove one of Ethereum's most visible early leaders. Hoskinson's advocacy for venture capital investment became the flashpoint. Internal communications from the period show him pushing aggressively for traditional funding rounds with institutional investors. He argued in team meetings that accepting venture capital would accelerate development and provide professional oversight. Other founders resisted, wary of ceding control to outside financiers. The debate turned personal when Hoskinson allegedly threatened to resign if the team didn't pursue VC funding, according to multiple first-hand accounts from early team members. The rift went deeper than funding strategy. Hoskinson saw himself as Ethereum's natural CEO, positioning the project to enterprise clients and investors. Buterin favored a more academic, community-driven approach. Their competing visions came to a head during discussions about the Ethereum Foundation's structure. Hoskinson proposed a traditional corporate hierarchy with clear executive roles, while Buterin insisted on maintaining a flatter, more decentralized organization. Emails from May 2014 reveal mounting tensions. In one exchange, Hoskinson accused other founders of ideological purity over practical progress when they rejected his governance proposal. Buterin responded that venture capital would fundamentally alter Ethereum's DNA, according to documents reviewed during later investigations. The tone grew increasingly confrontational, with Hoskinson warning that without professional management, Ethereum risked becoming another open-source science project. The showdown occurred during a tense series of meetings in Zug, Switzerland. According to participants, Hoskinson presented a detailed business plan proposing formal executive roles for himself and others. When the majority rejected the proposal, he allegedly threatened to take his contacts and fundraising expertise elsewhere. This ultimatum reportedly convinced several founders that Hoskinson couldn't remain part of the project. What exactly precipitated Hoskinson's exit remains contested. Some accounts suggest he was formally voted out by other founders. Others claim he resigned after realizing his vision wouldn't prevail. Publicly, the Ethereum Foundation announced his departure as a mutual decision, stating both parties agreed they had different views about how to best move forward. Hoskinson didn't leave quietly. In interviews immediately following his exit, he criticized Ethereum's governance as naive and predicted growing pains would force the project to adopt more corporate structures. He reportedly attempted to recruit several Ethereum developers to join him in new ventures before his departure was finalized, further straining relations with the remaining team. Within months, Hoskinson founded IOHK, Input Output Hong Kong, a blockchain engineering company that would later develop Cardano. His new project embraced the very corporate structures Ethereum had rejected, with clear hierarchies and professional management. Cardano's technical architecture also reflected Hoskinson's critiques of Ethereum, particularly his belief that blockchain projects required more rigorous academic foundations before implementation. The aftermath revealed how deeply Hoskinson had been involved in Ethereum's early operations. His exit forced rapid reorganization of business development efforts and investor relations. Several planned partnerships reportedly stalled as contacts Hoskinson cultivated needed reassurance about Ethereum's continued viability. The foundation struggled initially to replace his connections in the financial and regulatory communities. But Ethereum's development continued largely unaffected. Technical architects like Gavin Wood and Wilcke had always operated semi-independently from business-focused founders. The protocol advanced toward its mainnet launch, even as leadership reshuffled. This resilience demonstrated that while Hoskinson played important early roles, Ethereum's technical foundations didn't depend on any single individual. Hoskinson's departure established a pattern that would repeat with other founders. Like several who followed him, he took aspects of Ethereum's original vision and adapted them to his own philosophy through new projects. Cardano later implemented many concepts pioneered by Ethereum, but with Hoskinson's emphasis on formal verification and academic peer review, the competing blockchain became both a rival and a testament to Ethereum's influence. The split also highlighted unresolved tensions about cryptocurrency governance. Ethereum rejected traditional corporate structures, but hadn't yet developed robust alternatives. Buterin's leadership style, more first among equals than CEO, worked for technical decisions but left gaps in business strategy and organizational management. These gaps would cause more instability as Ethereum grew. Looking back, Hoskinson's exit marked Ethereum's transition from unified startup to decentralized project with competing factions. His warnings about governance challenges proved partially correct. Ethereum would later face crises that forced reconsideration of some organizational choices. But the project also demonstrated that decentralized communities could overcome leadership changes that would doom traditional companies. Within the remaining founding team, reactions varied. Some saw Hoskinson's departure as necessary to preserve Ethereum's principles. Others regretted losing his business acumen and worried about his ability to compete directly with Ethereum. Nearly all recognized they'd witnessed the first major crack in what was supposed to be a unified founding team. Hoskinson himself framed the split as inevitable, given fundamental disagreements about decentralization's practical limits. In later interviews, he characterized his Ethereum experience as valuable but flawed, saying the project often privileged ideology over real-world adoption. His subsequent career focused on what he called third-generation blockchains, learning from Ethereum's strengths and weaknesses. The Ethereum that remained after Hoskinson's departure looked different than originally envisioned. More decentralized in governance, but less connected to traditional finance, it moved forward with a mix of confidence and apprehension. The team knew they'd survived their first major crisis, but also that more challenges likely lay ahead. Other founders watched how easily Hoskinson transitioned to building competitive projects, planting seeds for their own eventual departures. Historically, Hoskinson's exit represents the first major fork in Ethereum's human capital, a precursor to the technical forks that would come later. It proved that in cryptocurrency, when visions diverge sufficiently, the solution isn't always compromise. Sometimes it's simply building something new.